What's Gucci with the veterans, military? Today we're going to be talking about how the VA disability claims process increases the amount of mental tension on veterans trying to get a VA rating, trying to increase that compensation, increase benefits, pushing closer to 100% permanent total. As always, you like this type of content, like, share, subscribe, comment down below your personal experience, what you do daily, because I'm sure we all got the same thing, actively in the VA disability claims process. Let's jump into it. So first off, as veterans, you would think that boot camp, whether it was Marine Corps, Navy SEALs, whatever the case may be, motherfucking Army, Air Force, you thought military training was going to be the hardest thing that you do in life. No. Hardest and most stressful thing that you're going to do in life as a veteran is try to get VA disability compensation. Why is that? Because the VA makes it hard. They make it difficult, almost impossible for a veteran to just walk into the VA disability claims process and walk out with a sufficient VA rating for any injury or disability, and which obviously had its onset from our military time period. Like if it wasn't stated on our MEPS entry exam, or even if it was. But if we didn't have anything on that, and we have these current post-military issues, mentally, physically, internally, all this stuff going on, why is it so hard for us to get service connected for these things? Well, one of the main reasons why it's hard is because all through boot camp and throughout your time in the military service, it's beaten down. It's beaten down. Like, hey, don't go to medical. Be hard. Pains and weakness leaving the body, right? The only veterans that I've spoken to that were able to go to the doctor while they were active duty are Air Force veterans. Not sure why. I know the Air Force, y'all got all the good stuff. Y'all got the Marriott. Y'all got the Hilton. As soon as y'all graduate from boot camp, y'all get the Amex card. Platinum, baby. But, all other services, Marine Corps, Navy, Marine Corps, Navy, Army. Nah, we in the trenches. We in the trenches. We, living with barracks mode and all this other stuff. Marine Corps, they've been getting hit up on that. They've been getting pounded on that, hounded by Congress. Like, hey, why we got Marines living in dirty, moldy barracks? Yeah, I know they've been around since Chesty Puller, since Dan Daly, since World War II. However, how are you going to upgrade everything else on base except for the living quarters? Okay, cool. But, just move past that. Little side caveat. We already spoke about one of the main issues, why it makes veterans so hard to get service connected. But what you can do today as a veteran is start your intent to file. Start it. You're not going to lose anything. And then start building that medical evidence throughout the time period in which that intent to file will last. It lasts a whole year. You start on January 1st, it expires the following year on January 1st. You got a whole 365 days, 12 months, 52 weeks to identify, locate a doctor to begin making complaints, building medical history, medical evidence needed in order to submit a sufficient VA disability claim. And then prior to that, y'all should be looking at the CFR 38 and the DBQs, the Disability Benefits Questionnaire, associated with any disability in which you are trying to seek service connection for to receive VA compensation. What are you talking about, Debo? I'm talking about, okay, if you're trying to go in for migraines, look up the CFR 38, look up migraines and or tension headaches, and see what's the rating criteria. What does the VA give after they've evaluated your medical evidence for a 10%, for a 30%, for a 50%? PTSD, cool. You can get anywhere from 0 to 100%. But are you submitting sufficient medical evidence? Are you building sufficient medical evidence? It's not enough you want to get service connected for PTSD, but if you don't know what the VA is looking for, the criteria needed to just get service connected, it's always going to be a losing battle. I've seen veterans every day. They've been submitting VA disability claims for years, 10 years. One of the most severe cases I've seen, I was looking on Reddit the other day, it was a Army cat. He's been submitting the same claims for 10 years for PTSD. And they still have not yet service connected him for it. He's submitting therapy notes. He had 10 years worth of sufficient therapeutic medical evidence. However, all these people on these, on Reddit, they weren't telling him you need a diagnosis. He didn't have a diagnosis for 10 years. Yeah, the VA does like to not give diagnosis. They would rather pump you full of medication for 10 years and hopefully it wipes it out of your memory that you're trying to get any VA compensation. But no, you got to take a step back. Get with a veteran service organization. I'm not sure if this veteran ever did, but 10 years, after 5 years of get denials, I would. Shit, I'm tired of this shit. You're either going to not submit any more claims, get educated, or get with somebody who's educated and knowledgeable on the VA disability claims process. You got to have that in your pocket if you don't have the knowledge and education. You're going to need someone in your corner that's going to help you, guide you along the way towards service connection for any disability. But this thread, this veteran, there's about 200 comments, whatever the case may be. I've read through all the comments, and not a single veteran told him or asked him, did he have a diagnosis? And he screenshotted everything. He put his VA decision letter on there, and no one reads. Veterans don't like to read. Took me maybe like 10 minutes to read through it. Didn't have a diagnosis. Hey, the VA don't continue to deny you if you didn't correct the issues in which they've been telling you in the decision letter. Good or bad, approval or denial, service connection or denial, they're going to tell you why they service connected you as well as why they denied you. If they denied you, okay, cool. Put in a claim for PTSD. They're denying me due to a lack of a stressor. Okay, I got my diagnosis. However, they can't pinpoint between 2 and 3 C&P exams every time I file a VA disability claim and still get denied. They can't pinpoint to a specific event or series of events from my active duty time period in which a stressor is qualifiable. They can't identify that. So what does a veteran need to do? The veteran needs to sit down, get with their doctor, as well as reflect on themselves, and pick a point in the military. And they got to stay consistent with it. You got to stay consistent with it. I'm not saying make up a story, but you have to have a story to tell to the VA. It needs to be a good enough story for a therapist to okay, cool, I acknowledge that your time in Afghanistan is your stressor. If you didn't deploy, okay, cool. I attribute all of these issues that you've had at X, Y, and Z commands when it came to disparity, discrimination, whatever the case may be, pertaining to you specifically as a veteran trying to get service connected for PTSD specifically. You got to get detailed with it. You just can't give vague responses throughout years of therapeutic sessions and hoping that's going to stick on a VA disability claim. It might not. Some veterans get lucky. Majority of us don't. We get denied, 0%, 10% on medical evidence that we know it should be 50% or higher, but we don't express ourselves. We don't express ourselves throughout the time in our therapeutic sessions. We just want to get in and get out. Just like when it comes to C&P exams, VA C&P exams, we're happy we get there, but then once we do get there, we're in the lobby longer than we are in that actual exam. And then 5 months down the road, we get a 0%, 10% or denial, and then we're waiting, we're asking ourselves why. Why is that? But hey, you gotta get knowledgeable, you gotta get educated, you gotta read. If you're already in the claims process, you're gonna check va.gov every day, multiple times. As soon as you wake up, va.gov, any progress, benefits, any progress. You'll probably call the VA once a day. I know I was. And and if you know anything about Vera, I scheduled Vera to call me every Monday and Friday. I was like, I have nothing to lose. I was just so stressed being in the claims process that it just took a mental toll. I was having nightmares about getting the motherfucking denied claim. I'm like, yo, fuck wife over there, it's just a dream, baby. It's just a dream. Your claim is still in there. I'm like, okay. You don't talk about. Hey, but still, you gotta. It messes with us mentally. Messes with you. And, up until, you're not going to seek any mental relief until that claim is done Or at least you got a more warm and fuzzy that, hey, okay, if you got a VSO that has access to VBMS, they can check the system, see what's going on. You know, after a C&P exam, maybe it's submitted to the VA. You get a copy of that C&P exam. So, okay, everything's good. And hopefully you can guesstimate if you're going to get service connected and or an increase. If you get an increase or service connection, that's the main battle. That's the main battle. So, hey, let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. Hopefully the raindrops are falling on my head calmed y'all down a little bit during the stressful time being in the VA disability claims process in 2024 with all these new proposed bills, new proposed changes, new proposed rules. It's a lot of things going on with the VA. It's a lot, things are changing rapidly. Now, if any of these proposed VA disability rules, any of these proposed rules take effect, it could benefit or it could hinder veterans getting the highest possible VA rating, which equates to compensation in your pocket for the disabilities and the injuries in which we sustained while active duty. This is Debo. Y'all stay Gucci with it.